What's going on, people? It's your man, the White B. Once again, big shout out to my dog, Alistair Liscott, for coming through and boosting at the coin. So, now I wasn't really going to do this one. Still, that's what I wasn't going to do. But here we are. Yeah, we got double confirmation on this allegation. First off, I'm going to play you some bars from the light-skinned prophet himself, Moses Itauma. Okay, this was 4 days ago, and at the time I didn't think much of it, but here we go. Here's the bars from Enrico Bush.
I've just kind of come to a conclusion where it's like I'm not fighting for people no more, because they kind of don't really see it. Whereas like my brothers do. Like, had you have done this interview with me 2-3 weeks ago, you would have said busted eyes, bruised knuckles. Man, I've had injuries on both hands this camp. My energy, I have no social battery, none of that. So training camps are tough. And what did I do this for? For someone to tell me, yeah, we knew he was always...
Okay, so you heard it there from Moses Itauma, aka the light-skinned prophet, the light skin that's been sent to forgive us of our sins. The half-baked sins, of which there are many. Let's call a spade here, man. There are many sins. Anyway, listen. I heard that a few days ago, yeah? Didn't think too much of it. Thought it was a bit odd that he's putting it out there. That said, when he no doubt plasters Dillian Whyte all over the canvas, then it will be a vitriolic story. Yes, oh ye with swollen hands, I whooped his old ass, right? That said, today I'm minding my business. 22 hours ago, Andy Lee jumps on the Talk Sport blower. I'm not going to play the footage, but you can see the title here. It says, both of these guys are going in with some sort of injury. Now, I did watch the video of Andy Lee. It's possible he just saw the video we've seen. Now, in this video though, Andy Lee speculates that Dillian, because he hasn't been active, it could be good for him. He's less injured than the Itauma. Now this is also not a cliche, but it's a common phrase well known within boxing. It's hard when you're punching people all day for a living. In camps with big gloves on or not, you do pick up injuries. Apparently 90% or 80% of the time, people are going in there with, at the very least, niggles. Yeah? And we did see a Itauma with the Moody Kabbalah eye. We did see that. And I think about a week or two ago, I did a video on it. Why is this relevant? Well, it's relevant. His hands was bust up, apparently. His eye definitely was. 2 or 3 weeks ago. Now the thing is, adrenaline and whatnot can get you through. If this fight goes early, adrenaline and whatnot, and listen, Frank Warren ain't afraid of pulling out. Pause. Yeah? Look at Dubois. That was well, it wasn't a massive fight, was it? It was Joseph Parker, but that was the headline for that fight. Just pulled out. Bosh! A day before. I'm sure Frank Warren could have pulled out, and I think that's what the Talk Sport heads were saying. Pulling was that. You have to believe one of two things is true. Either he's proper injured and he's just so based, yeah, he can't help but tell the masses the truth to save you your gambling coins, or the injuries aren't that bad and that's why he's letting you know. Because traditionally, if you're half injured, you don't say nothing. You wouldn't want your opponent knowing you got a bug eye. You won't want your opponent knowing your hands and your bones are soft. Yeah? Look at Fraser Clark. How often do you think Fraser Clark has told people, hey man, my bones is soft, man. If you hit me here, I'm going to throw. Who here thinks Fraser Clark told Fabio Wardley before the fight, even though it was the truth? Yeah? Who here thinks Fraser Clark told Fabio Wardley's team, oh yeah, by the way, bro, if you hit me just here, I'm liable to have a stroke because my bones is no good? He didn't say that, right? So either a Itauma, he's just that guy who will tell you, yeah, man, I'm falling apart at the seams here. My eyes bugged. My hands are all soft. Yeah? I got cocoa butter hands. They're soft and supple for the white girls. That's what he's been. Come on, man, Moses, you got to drop. You seen Dillian Whyte's hands? They ashy with it, man. Yeah, they ashy with it. Moses missed it. I put 2 aftershaves on, man. You know his hands are soft and supple. That's what they for. That's what they are. Sorry. So I believe what Moses is saying. I believe his hands are soft. He has too much cocoa butter in there. Don't make. You need reinforced hands. You don't need supple cocoa butter hands, which is what he's saying he's got. Both of them have gone in this camp. Now, obviously, if he comes out there hopping around and boshes Dillian Whyte early on, that won't be so much of a factor. The eye situation, that swelling's now gone, so that certainly won't be a factor. But the hands one, I mean, we've seen crazier things. And sometimes it's the hubris of fighting an old man and fighting this old yardie. Yeah. So I can get away with it. I remember McTapper, Conor McSniff, when he was coming up. His best arc, he was always injured, doing crazy things. I think both knees had gone and he was getting in there with, was it Mendes or Aldo? Maybe even both of them he was compromised for. But when you're on the way up and you feel invincible, you do tend to take more of them risks. Now, like I keep saying, none of this will matter. If Dillian can't withhold I think he needs to get to at least halfway, which is 5 rounds. And that's another thing as well. I can't confirm this, just quickly. We'll segue to some more circumstantial information. Apparently, this fight was supposed to be 12 rounds. And I've been told from people close to the situation, allegedly, it's now been adjusted to a 10-rounder. And you can see the 10-rounders confirmed here. What I don't know is if it was always supposed to be a 10-rounder. But it is quite... I'm not going to lie. The town was being pinned as the saviour, right? Oh, he's kind of... Turkey's saying, yeah, I'm going to get him to have a go on Usyk. So we're going from... He's going to have a go on Usyk next. You'd think, for washed up Dillian, they'd be doing it as a 12-rounder. Let's get Itauma his first 12-rounder. They haven't done that. Is it possible it was supposed to be 12, but his hands are buggered? Yeah. Or is it they're keeping this guy at the amateur level? Why is he doing 10? I don't get that. I'm sorry. And I didn't know it was a 10-rounder. The way they've been woofing, yeah. The way they've been giving it that about Itauma, I assumed it'd be 12. Now, is it possible Dillian Whyte is the one who pushed for 10? I doubt it. If you're Dillian Whyte's team, you're pushing 15. If Dillian could make it to 15, if he doesn't get clipped before 15, every round, I'd assume, is better for Dillian. Now, we can argue. I was thinking about this the other day. You know, I've certainly been pumping the narrative, oh, you need to get to 6, and then you make it to the promised land. But Dillian Whyte isn't known to have 10 cardio, but I think the gamble of, if I had to gamble as Team Dillian, I'd rather it go later, obviously. Because the gamble is, these new age guys, they're not championship fighters. Certainly not before they've had a championship fight. They come out, blow their load. Johnny Fisher, Ben Whittaker, blow their load. And yes, they can learn from it. Well, you say that. Look at Whittaker. We assume he learned from the first fight with Cameron because he blew out Cameron in the second. But in reality, yeah, did he learn much? Why do I say that? You see how he was... Yes, the fight stopped, and fair play to Ben Whittaker for doing that, yeah, in the rematch with Cameron. But for all we know, did you see how buck wild he was getting down? Just left, right, left, right, left, right. He can't punch like that. He can't punch. He can't punch. Whittaker can't punch. You could just tell. He just swinging left and right. Now, it looked good because he got the stoppage. Because Ben Shalom had the referee pattern with the envelope. But if he didn't have the referee pattern with the envelope and that fight had continued, who knows what might have happened. He'd have been puffing. Seriously. If he didn't finish Cameron in the next round after that, he'd have been in. If you thought he was in trouble in the first fight, you wait until you see what he'd have been like. So history's written by the victors. Oh yeah, he blew him out. Well, no. If it's on, we don't know what state Whittaker would have been in. I'd lean towards he'd have been in trouble, honestly. If Cameron had made it to like round 5, I think Whittaker would have been in serious trouble. Because the amount of energy he output. So even there, when people have experienced puffing, like Whittaker did in the first fight, he's still come in there, not really getting it. And it's not until you've blew your load and you're puffing, proper puffing, and you've still got 8 rounds to go, that's when you find out about championship boxing. Yeah? Either way, Frank Warren, they've put it as a 10 rounder, so listen, I didn't know this. Knowing this though, this isn't good for Dillian, right? There being less rounds isn't good for Dillian. Particularly if you factor in, if Moses is a little bit compromised with his soft hands. He's been training with Fraser Clark. He's been doing his S&C and his diet with Fraser Clark, so them bones are ready to go. You're going to want them extra 2 rounds. But listen, 10's enough. 10's enough. But I'm surprised Dillian's... Well, he wasn't a price maker, was he? He's more of a taker at this point. So they've told him what he's doing. Along with it. But still, listen. Let's see what happens, man. I think my base case would be... You can argue this video is pointless, really, with me saying this. But nonetheless, my base case is that I think Itauma's hands are no more injured than they've ever been before as a boxer. But then again, actually, thinking about it now, remember, Itauma fought, I think it was December last year, when he knocked out that proper stiff idiot from Australia, New Zealand, down under, Antipodian. He knocked some proper stiff idiot out in December. And then he was calling out everyone. Yeah, I want this guy, I want that guy. And I was critiquing him, saying, why is he talking and not doing nothing? But apparently he was injured then. They didn't specify what his injury was. But it's highly likely, if you get injured in December, January 2024/5, you can rest for a few months, yeah. But ultimately, 3 months ain't really enough, in my opinion. Or it's certainly not enough to guarantee nothing. If you bust your hand, pinged it, and you've had 3 months off, once you get back into camp again, it's highly likely you hit someone's elbow, or you hit someone's big round head, pop. And at this point, I guess no, Itauma, he fought that rugby player, didn't he though? But we don't know again. We just don't know. That said, this information we have can only benefit Dillian for what it's worth. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, people. Smash the like button, subscribe, like off the bell, 100%. There's no doubt about this. Some people stop it. Johnny Bad.